What's shaking YouTubeites? Welcome into the Cover Price Shakers of the Week. I have a feeling there's not going to be a lot of you watching tonight because you're either at San Diego Comic-Con or off seeing Deadpool. So
there's a lot of stuff going on, Laura, but it's all right because I guarantee you they'll catch this on the rewind. So
that's right.
It's okay. Yeah.
Get it on the rewind. For those of you who are in the comments, no spoilers. I saw Deadpool already. I loved it. And I'll talk about it without spoiling it after the Shakers list if there's a desire for that. But do not spoil the movie in the comment section, please.
What he said. All right. Well, you guys are all congregating. Share us out. Tell people we are here. But in the meantime, Marty picked you some Doobie Brothers.
Do the damn thing. Do the damn thing. Do the damn thing. Make love and dance and sing, yeah. Got to get on the floor. You know life can give you more. Come on.
All right, now I see why you like that. That sets the whole tone for the show, right?
I like that funky groove,
Yeah,
funkiness. Hey, first of all, can I say something? I just want to say thank you to Geeky Swag Shop. I just got my shirt in just in time for tonight's show. Lords of the Long Box right here. So representing, honoring TiVo. I just want to say, belated happy birthday to TiVo. His heavenly birthday was yesterday, right? Wasn't it? Yeah. And so just wanted to wish him that. And thanks for joining us, either live or on the rewind, and we always love having you guys here. And if you're not, please don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to subscribe.
Well said, Marty. I didn't even have to tell him to say it. He's just like, boom. Chris?
I know. I'm sorry. Just ran on with it.
It's perfect.
How's everybody doing on this wonderful Thursday? I hope that you all had some great Wednesday picks at your local comic book store. I know that I picked up some good stuff. Third Eye Comics represent. I'm streaming from my wife's she shed because my geek cave is also the spare bedroom with got a fold down bed up near the computer. So that has been taken over, and I am in the land of sewing machines and mannequins.
Very nice. Thanks for sharing, by the way, Chris.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Oh, yeah. I'm surprised that all you guys in the chat, thank you guys for being here. Like we were saying at the beginning, there's so many other places you could be tonight, but we are grateful you are here with us shaking. So, let's just dive right in.
Let's do it.
Once again, welcome in. This is the Shakers Show. This list comes from our friends over at Cover Price, focusing on new high sales or the most interesting sales found on their exclusive daily Shaker list. This list changes several times every day, so make sure to check it out to review some of the hottest trending books in the market. What do we have for Shaker number one?
Shaker number one, we have Amazing Spider-Man number one, the Salvador Larroca Hustler Eminem, limited to 5,000. Will the real Amazing Spider-Man please stand up? This book was supposed to be on last week's Shaker list, but the sale wasn't finalized until early Friday morning, so we did not get a chance to include it. It probably would have been left out entirely, but the sheer magnitude of this sale could not go unnoticed. Take a look at that number, $10,000. It's also possible that this colossal sale was attested to Eminem's new drop, The Death of Slim Shady, released on July 12th. The album is a relentless barrage of malevolent defiance aimed at everyone, including himself, and debuted at #1 spot on the Billboard Top 200. With Marshall Mathers back at the top of his game, a devoted fan decided to catapult this Amazing Spider-Man #1 cameo cover to an all-time high of $10,000.
Damn!
The most appropriate damn of the last month.
All right.
CGC 9.9. What is also interesting about this sale is that there are only 2 9.9s on the census. And while there are 21 9.9s for the sketch edition, many have already called foul on CGC for having so many 9.9s for a single book, especially with one with a limit of 1,000 prints. Sources confirmed, however, that a bulk shipment of the color copy variant, possibly from Eminem's website, was damaged during a shipment to CGC. Hence, the lower amount of 9.9s of the color version versus the sketch. Regardless, the obvious happened, where a book with a higher print run of 5,000 copies demolished the value of the other, leaving many disgruntled in the process. Hopefully, CGC will course correct its grading process before PSA debuts next year.
All right, I have some thoughts. First of all, PSA, fix your label. If you're going to compete with CGC, if you're going to compete with CBCS, you got to up your game there. I don't know if you guys have. Yeah, that's my main thing, because there is a need for PSA to come in and give CGC some well-needed competition, and they already have that respect that they got from grading cards and whatever. But having said that, who in their right mind pays $10,000 for this?
Wow. Speechless. $10,000.
Yeah.
9.9. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see myself. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big, huge, Amazing Spider-Man fan, but I can't see myself dropping something like that for that cover. And honestly, more power to Eminem. Just myself personally, I'm not a big Eminem fan either, so I wouldn't actually go for this.
I think I'm on the same page as you, Marty, if simply just because of how new this book is. If you think about it, since 2020, when COVID happened and all the books were taken off in value, the distributors started shipping comics directly to CGC, so they never touched an LCS, right? Right? So we had these direct from print to grade, and that's how we got so many 9.9s and so many 10s during this time frame, and that's still happening today.
Oh yeah.
If I'm going to pay it for a 9.9, it needs to be older than 2010. In my opinion.
I agree. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
somebody in the chat said it. I'd rather have a silver AJSM, for 10 grand. I'm kind of on that shit, but I guess you collect what you like. I'm guessing whoever bought this was definitely a diehard Eminem fan. They have to be. Absolutely,
yeah. I mean, more power to him. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely.
You guys think Eminem bought it himself? I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. Come on. He probably had a couple boxes sent to him for free.
Yeah. He was selling them on his web store, so.
Was he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably signed.
I remember way back when this was like a big thing, these things shipped like garbage, and everybody was like, come on, Eminem, like he's supposed to be like this big comic book fan, so he should know to get these things protected before they ship out.
Right.
But anyway. Shaker #1, The Amazing Spider-Man #1, Salvador Larroca, Hustle, Eminem, limited to 5,000. Came out in 2022 with a top sale going for a whopping $10,000 for a CGC 9.9. And yeah, guys in the chat, I'm really curious to see what happens with PSA. I had somebody in here saying they're not going to disrupt their consistent branding, their label represents. Time will tell.
Time will tell.
What do we got next?
Laura, oh my goodness. Look at this. This is #2 is Amazing World of Gumball #1 by Boom, published in 2014. Amazing World of Gumball is an animated show that premiered in 2011 on Cartoon Network. The show ran for 6 seasons and ran 240 episodes. The series and its characters have become more popular as each year passes, and recently there was an announcement of the return of the show in the form of another season and a film. Gumball, like Bob's Burger, Adventure Time, and Rick and Morty, have recently been mentioned on the Shakers list as the comic adaptation has become rare and collectible. The first issue of Gumball has been a $20 range book for a while, but this week saw a new all-time high sale when a CGC 9.8 sold for $225. These beloved animated shows and their adaptation only seems to keep growing in popularity. So current prices may seem cheap if the current trend continues. Man, you know what Tim would have said? He's like, man, you're towing the line here, man. You're cutting it close.
You were close. Adaptation. That is a tough one. Yeah, I know nothing about this. I can't even talk to it. Chris, do you know what the Amazing World of Gumball is all about?
Yeah, my kids watch this. It's funny, but you know, the show doesn't really matter in my opinion. What you need to be looking at is the trend, right? You got Rick and Morty, you got this, you got Bob's Burger. If there is a popular cartoon and they release a comic book adaptation of the popular cartoon, pick up number one. It's a safe.
I agree.
Bet. Even if it doesn't spike right now, it will. Like this 2014, right? So you got 10-year-olds in 2014 that are watching Amazing Gumball. Now they're 20. Now they have a little bit of expendable cash when they should be putting it towards their rent, and they're going and they're buying, a slab 9.8 for $200. If you see a cartoon being turned into a comic book, just pick it up.
No,
I agree with you 110%, Chris, on this one. I mean, because, the trend speaks for itself. Rick and Morty, oh my God, that's a big book, Adventure Time, Bob's Burger. I mean, who would have known? Like
The Simpsons.
Simpsons, yeah. I mean, these movie adaptations or comic adaptations of things like this, I mean, my God. Pick it up if you have one, or if you're speculating on this, I'd say go for it.
Yeah, and your cost of entry is low. It really is.
Very low.
What's the other one that we used to watch when we were kids? Ren and Stimpy, but that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Beavis and Butthead?
No, it was the two mice.
Pinky in the Brain.
Pinky in the Brain. Yes, Pinky in the Brain.
Pinky in the Brain.
Yeah.
Love that. I used to love that. Yeah.
Me too. I used to sing it all the time, drove my mom nuts. But all right, there you have it. Shaker number 2, Amazing World of Gumball number 1 from Boom back in 2014 with a CGC 9.8 selling for $225. And I think Chris dropped some massive wisdom on you guys. If you see a number 1 of a popular cartoon, pick it up. What do we have for 3?
While we're talking about trends, I'm going to have you guys look at this 8-bit cover of Cobra Kai, and I'm going to give the same advice. If it's a popular TV show and there's an 8-bit cover available as a ratio, pick that up. Read the tea leaves, as people used to say.
Why is 8-bit covers so popular? Why? Why does that stand out for most?
It's nostalgia. Nostalgia is a
Yes.
better drug than heroin. Not
I
that
agree.
I know.
Absolutely
So shaker number
right.
3. Shaker number 3, Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid saga continues. Number 3, art by Jeffrey Verey. I think those G's are silent. Let's go with that.
I'll go with that.
It's a 1:10 ratio by IDW in 2019. The final chapter of Cobra Kai saga was released this week. At least the first half of the season was. And the ending to the first part was separated. This was separated into 3 miniseries. Had fans talking about who's the better fighter between Johnny and Daniel. It's hard to believe that a movie from 1984 is still relevant in 2025. But here we are after various reincarnations, which weren't very good. I disagree, cover price writer. To the small screen. Originally released on YouTube Red, that failed to find. I agree. I disagree with you again, cover price writer. Okay, I'm going to skip over that part. Thank goodness Netflix picked it up, or we might have gone down in flames. We still wouldn't be able to enjoy the nostalgia of one of our favorite new kids on the block beating up the bad bully story. The Karate Kid saga continues. Miniseries focuses on how Johnny was raised and the influences that led to him to become the best student at Cobra Kai. This video game homage is one of many video game covers that have become increasingly popular. And with the passing of the artist, Jeffrey Verey, in April, this cover seems to have risen to an even higher level. When we discussed this book last May, a raw copy sold for $100. This week saw an incredible all-time high sale of $600 for a raw dog near mint, which equaled the high of the graded 9.6 just this last June. Just because Johnny showed no mercy doesn't mean that the fans have to hate him forever.
I feel like you have opinions on this, Chris. Go ahead.
So Karate Kid got a little bit lost in its own story in the second and third season, but they're really pulling it together. It started off really, really strong. It had good elements on the last couple seasons on YouTube Red, and the first season and this season on Netflix have been very enjoyable. I loved Karate Kid when I was growing up. I think I saw it in the theaters in 1984 a couple times. And I have loved every single Karate Kid movie, with the exception of the Jackie Chan one that came out in the 2010s. The part that I'm disagreeing with the amazing writer of Cover Price, and they are entitled to their own opinion, is where they're talking about that it wasn't very good on the small screen. I think that this idea, which came from a bit on How I Met Your Mother, and got turned into a YouTube show, which then got turned into a Netflix show, that is a Cinderella story. And I absolutely love enjoying the deep 80 cuts of the Karate Kid TV show. And Johnny just makes for such a good struggling hero. He is a tragic hero in the same line as Hamlet.
Wow, that's a testament. Wow. Marty?
That was a mouthful, and I cannot follow that, so I apologize. Nevertheless, I give you props, Chris. But what I can say is that, yes, absolutely, I was really loving the first season of Karate Kid. Second season, I fell off. I could not get past, I think, a few episodes on that one, and I haven't gone back since, to be honest with you. I do want to get back to it. Of course, it's on my watch list. Loved Karate Kid when the original movie first came out. Wasn't a big fan of the second and third movie, but I don't know. I mean, if you're saying it's well worth sticking to it, then I might just have to start that back up, Chris.
Yeah, it's worth a watch if you have an afternoon or a couple that you can binge them all. Go for it.
My kids love it. We've watched all the series together multiple times. It's actually what got Adam. He's like, "Oh, I want to start." He wanted to do karate. He did jiu-jitsu instead, but it's what got him kind of excited about the process of being able to kick somebody's ass. And I'm like, "All right, let's do it." So it got him motivated. I enjoyed the show. I think this cover hits on so many different levels. I like the coloring. I like the 8-bit part of it. I think it's perfect. So if you guys are out there and you manage to come across the Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid saga continues, #3. Definitely pick it up. This is a Jeffrey Verege is how I would pronounce that variant. 1-in-10 ratio from IDW back in 2019 with a near mint raw going for $600. All right, let's keep cruising.
Ooh, nice. #4 is Eternal Warriors #5, David Mack. This is the 1-in-50 ratio by Valiant, published in 2014. No one ever talks about Valiant anymore. The darlings of the 90s have been cast aside like an old pair of tennis shoes. They barely release any comic books, and their movies were terrible at best. Yet, a small but powerful, aka big spenders, group of collectors that crave rare, Valiant variants exist in the comic book community. Eternal Warriors, along with Ninjak and Bloodshot, are the most popular of the Valiant IPs. So it's no surprise that this beautiful cover by David Mack has maintained its value. Mack's watercolor style has existed since the mid-90s when he created Kabuki for Caliber Press. He would go on to find fame painting covers for Daredevil and Alias, which introduced us to characters like Jessica Jones and Echo. Our first recorded sales of this variant was last September when a raw went for $250. This week saw our second recorded sale of $375 for a graded 9.8. Even if you don't think Valiant still existed, there will always be a place in the market for these rare variants.
All right. Yeah, Valiant's awesome. I remember they did all the Mario Brothers comics. They had some Ninjaks, I think was another one of theirs. David Mack in particular, sometimes he hits for me and sometimes I'm like, it's the same thing I've seen from him over and over. This one I like. It's powerful.
I think he did the cover of NYX2, I believe. And then he had a lot of popular covers. Alias, he did Alias 2. That's you can't miss his artwork. I mean, it's very, it's a watercolor based and it's very simple, but stands out.
I think that there are a lot of variant IP that needs to come back. I know Solar wasn't originally a variant IP, and I think IDW has the rights to it now, but the Solar story was fantastic, and it went on for over 100 comics and just had a great story. Solar needs an adaptation. It needs a reboot. I would very much enjoy it.
Yeah, that's what the chat's saying too. So let's get Valiant to come back with some new titles and let's reinvigorate it, because I think a lot of us have, some memories of reading some of their titles back in the day.
Of course, absolutely.
And how many of us have that Ninjak #1 still mint in sleeve, just in case?
Right? No, I have quite a few Valiant books still, that I probably need to dig through, because I'm just curious to see if how many of those are, keys or rares. I mean, you never know, right?
Yeah.
Dig around your own collection, see what you got. All right. Eternal Warriors #5, the David Mack variant, 1 in 50 from Valiant back in 2014. A CGC 9.8 selling for $375. Not too bad. What do we have for the next one?
This book is awesome. 1948. I've already shared with you guys that I like covers that don't look like comic book covers, and this looks like a newspaper. So this is like right up my alley.
It was hilarious just listening to Laura just giggle once the cover came up.
I don't look at it. I just kind of just flow with it as it goes. So these are all like a surprise to me. This is neat. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Shaker #5, Law Against Crime #1. From 1948. Few covers encapsulate the raw, unfiltered essence of pre-code crime genre better than Law Against Crime #1. The unforgettable L.B. Cole artwork depicts a criminal in an electric chair, a standout example of the era's bold and often brutal storytelling. The series, which ran only until August of 1948, was notable for its covers that promised and delivered gritty stories based in truth on real police cases. Law Against Crime #1 has always been a coveted piece for collectors, and recent sale figures have only heightened its status. On July 23rd in 2024, a CGC 8.5 copy sold for a staggering $13,000, setting an all-time high for this issue at 8.5 for a 1948 book. Holy cow. It's worth noting that this issue was a Pedigree Gold label from the Promise collection. If you have not read up on what makes a Pedigree collection, I highly recommend it. It's some fascinating stuff. This marks a significant leap from the previous 8.5 sale in 2022, which only fetched $5,000. With only 7 recorded sales, 2 raw and 5 slabbed, and just 38 copies graded on the census, of which 3 are 8.5s, the highest grade. This comic's rarity and desirability are undeniable. As those interested in pre-code comics continue to look for their keys, Law Against Crime #1 stands out not just for its historical significance, but for its dramatic market performance, proving that its appeal is as electrifying as ever. This issue represents a quintessential piece of comic book history for collectors and enthusiasts, combining rarity, historical context, an iconic cover, amazing art, an amazing artist, and all into one shocking package.
But look at this. To paraphrase TiVo, that's some time machine shit right there. Hell yeah,
That's
it
some
is.
time machine shit right there.
That's
Love it.
incredible. And somebody else said what I was thinking. This is only $3,000 higher than the Spider-Man book. So, I mean, collect what you like, no judgment. But I was thinking the same thing when you were reading
I know, right?
Liger and I are on the same page.
I'm curious though. I mean, what significance? I mean, you know, I mean, who? I mean, that'd be interesting to know why.
LB Cole, remember like the mask covers? What else? Terrifying Tales. Like this, I think the art produced by Cole is just part of the reason why these sell so well, right?
But it's a black cover, an 8.5 from a 1948 black cover. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's really rare. It really is.
Marty, I have a question. I'm hoping you'll know. Yeah. I'm sorry if I'm naive. Do we still use electric chairs in the US?
No. We are doing typically injections.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except for Arkansas.
And I think gas. Some do gas. I think it depending on the state too.
What? Gas?
Yeah.
God. I've heard of injections, but I wasn't sure if the electric chair is still a thing. Like if that's still something that
I think they did away with that for a long time. Yeah. I think they did away with that. I don't know when, don't quote me, but yeah, they went through, you know, injections and gas as a more humane way.
Whew, all right. Yeah, there you go. Law Against Crime #1 from 1948. That's absolutely incredible. I wonder where this thing sat for the last
right? Amazing
years and still survived and still went in and got graded higher than some of my modern comics though. Right. 8.5 going for $13,000. Let's move on to Shaker number 6.
Wow, look, I actually really enjoy this cover. I really enjoy this. Yes, look at number 6 brings you Sense and Sensibility #4. This is Scotty Young, published by Marvel in 2010.
Marty, I love Jane Austen. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Jane Austen wrote, "If a book is well written, I always find it too short." She may not have been referencing this clever adaptation of one of her classic novels, but I think she would be delighted all the same by this miniseries. Comic books have a long history of adapting. I'm having a problem with that word today. Adapting classical works of fiction and historical stories into the medium. In the early 2010s, Marvel adapted a few of Austen's books. In an effort to reach out to more diverse reader population, Scotty Young was tasked with filling in on a very iconic story. This was early on in his career, and he was still making a name for himself. Of the 5 covers, Young only did #4. Young seems to have adapted his style slightly to match Sonny Liu's cover. Since then, Scotty has risen to the highest of heights in the comic community. Recently, a raw copy of the comic was sold for $100. Laura, what do you think?
I think if anybody has this, hit me up. I love Jane Austen books. My daughter and I are obsessed. We've read all of them. We've watched all the movies. We just watched Persuasion the other day. I'm totally being a girl right now, but I absolutely adore her stuff. So if anybody has this, I didn't even know it existed. Yes, I like Scotty Young. You put him with this title together. I'm so sold for $100. Yes, I love it.
Excited. I hear the excitement in your voice, Laura.
Yes.
Nice. I really do. I love this cover.
It's a gorgeous cover. I mean, I love Scotty Young's work. I love the baby heroes and stuff like that. But his more serious work like this it's just beautiful to look at.
Oh yeah, he has a lot of different ways of drawing other than just the babies. I feel like the babies is what we know him for, but like if you think of his Middle West art, like you see like this different dynamic to him, and he did a lot of like steampunk looking art back in the day too.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this is awesome. If anybody in the chat owns this, yes, I want it. I'm actually working during the next week.
You heard it. If anybody owns this or if anybody finds this, hit up Laura.
Look, they're all zeros.
Hook her up.
Oh,
I know.
Man, awesome.
Everybody's a 0 tonight, right?
Yeah, bummer. Yeah, I wouldn't think this was Scotty either. If I was just looking at it, I wouldn't have guessed. But now that I know, it makes me want it more. Sense and Sensibility number 4, the Scotty Young cover from 2010, published by Marvel, with a near mint raw selling for $100. What do we have next?
All right. So before I move on to Spawn number 220, I'm going to ask the audience to please help us out with the algorithm. Like, share, and subscribe. Look at that bell icon. Get a soul connection with that bell icon. Think about the bell icon's starving children.
I love it.
And click on that thing, because that is how YouTube shows survive. Hit that bell icon, like, share, and subscribe. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about Spawn number 220. Now, before I do this read, I want to highlight, if anybody's going through long boxes and they come across a Spawn between number 140-ish and 280, that specific era, that run of about 120 comics had pretty low print runs. This was the lowest point for Spawn. The movie failed to reach the demand just a few years earlier, and it was a very hard time for Image. And you're talking about print numbers in the low 10,000s for these books, which makes this Shaker number 7 so interesting. Spawn number 220, 20th anniversary variant by Image in 2012. For the 20th anniversary of Spawn, there was a lot of homage covers going on. Going back to his roots, these variants for this monumental issue featured homages to other Image titles that started around the same time. Youngblood, Savage Dragon, they both got homage covers. Cover A was an homage to issue number 200, but Todd McFarlane went a little meta and homage Spawn number 1 for this variant book with the current artist, Seisman Kurdensky. I'm going to go with that. Taking on the art. The entire issue was black and white, making the shadow work Kurdensky was known for really shine. This premium variant for Spawn collectors had a tough one to secure. Recently, a CGC 9.8 hit up the market and sold for $336, a sharp jump from the previous high it established in 2021 for $200. This is a classic example of a book surpassing its COVID pricing. Take that note. It is in line with what we've seen from the market in the recent years, with the rare Spawn variants and issues fetching a premium, as well as the demand for Spawn steadily grows. Spawn is no longer the 90s, the epitome of a 90s cultural icon. We have a movie on the way, rumor has it, tentatively. Could be an Amazon animated series. It could be a Netflix thing. But we know that there is a Spawn property coming to a screen near you. And tons of new news, series, and ventures are to choose from. The Spawn market is healthy as it gets. This book is a perfect example.
All right, so Simon how do you say his name? Kudransky. He did Something Epic, which if you guys have read that series, it's phenomenal. So knowing that he is behind the art here, the same art he did for that series, I'm sold.
Yeah,
for sure.
I
Very
like
nice.
that the
Beautiful.
whole book is black and white. That means it's not just a cover variant, it's a comic variant. Like the whole comic is going to be different.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But $336 for a 9.8, that's pretty reasonable for a comic of this rarity during this time when Spawn was not all that popular.
Yeah,
Spawn didn't bounce back in sales until issue 300. And now that we're past the 300, you're seeing more and more, and comic retailers are picking that more and more. And the COVID boom helped quite a bit.
And the rumors of the adaptation.
That's right.
The ongoing rumors.
But if you can, this Spawn number 220, it's right in that sweet spot for Spawn books. That if you're digging through a long box, grab these books because they're all worth something.
All right.
Yeah.
Marty and I agree. Moving on to shaker number 8. Speaking of Spawn, what do we have?
Yes, number 8 brings you Spawn Bible number 1. This is the German edition platinum version of this, limited to 100, published by Infinity Verlag in 1998. Even though we have recorded only one sale of this book on our site, this Bible is more common than you might think. It has subsequent printing, limited versions, foreign editions, and even reprints like Spawn, the Book of Souls, which was published 2 years later. Don't get it twisted, though. Spawn fans are a devoted bunch, and a Bible like this holds significant meaning for them. Interestingly, the reprinted versions have a higher sale value of $1,100 compared to the limited 100 German edition, which reached our site for the first time this week and sold for an all-time record high of $600 for a CGC 9.4. However, being a foreign print by the Infinity Verlag, the German edition may have less potential to surpass the value of Image's revitalized edition.
Dude, foreign collecting is a whole other beast. I haven't really gotten into it yet.
No, I know it's big. It definitely is big, and I know quite a few people that like to collect different foreign comics and foreign books and things like that. But it's a whole different, I think, side of collecting too.
Yeah, you have to kind of learn the art of it. I know that the paper quality is always tricky when it comes to foreign stuff. Just that it gets affected by humidity. If you're talking like a Brazilian variant, I don't know. This is cool though.
Size, yeah, the size of the books are not always standard to what we expect in a comic from this time frame.
Yeah,
and there's always little slight alterations to the cover. I'm friends with Rob's Comics, and he's like the expert on foreign editions. And he came on to Near Nirvana and gave us like this rundown on how you can compare without just looking at the fact that the text is different, but you can see the differences between American versus foreign editions, and it's fascinating. It's really a cool thing. If you're good at it, go to town. But I think that having 100 of these, you would think that they'd be a little bit more in demand, but still not bad. Spawn Bible number 1, the German edition, going for $600 for a 9.4. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Hold on, moving on. What do we have in the bag? Oh my God!
There's your girl. There's your girl, Laura. There's your girl.
Let's fucking go! About time that we've seen this thing pop up. Hello. Okay, whose read is this?
Shit. Did you almost fall off your chair, Laura? Because that's what it sounded like back there.
But I only own the 9.4. I love Jenny Frizen. I love her. I love her. I love her. This is fantastic. Well deserved. Go ahead, Marty.
No, Chris. It's me.
It's Chris.
Chris. Chris, sorry.
All right. Voltron, a Legend Forge, number 1 by Jenny Frizen. It's Laura's best friend, Jenny.
I love her. She's awesome.
Devil's Due Publishing, 2008. Voltron, I'll form the head. What can we say about Jenny Frizen that hasn't already been said by Laura? Because she talks about her all the time.
Of course.
I know I do. I'm sorry, I do.
She is one of the best modern cover artists in the game, and her work permeates the comic book scene. She is seemingly dropping a new cover weekly. She's also famous for showing off her dogs, Egg and Tater, eating breakfast on her Instagram. Egg and Tater are great names for dogs. Oh my God. What is a little murky, though, is her first cover appearance. There's been debate on whether Voltron or Hack and Slash should be considered her first cover.
There's no debate, but continue. There's no debate.
I agree. As Voltron was published first, but Hack and Slash Commission was created and contracted first. The market has spoken loud and clear for Voltron, as a graded 9.8 sold for $1,450 on July 23rd. $300 then its last sale in October 2023. The fair market value for a raw near mint book is virtually the same, with Voltron at $300 and Hack and Slash at $250. So it'll be interesting to see what the next graded 9.8 Hack and Slash sells for. But in the meantime, Voltron can wear the crown as the book that put Friesen Say it for me one
Prison.
more time. Prison. That put Prison on the map.
Okay, so I met her in the bathroom. I was washing my hands and she was in the sink next to me, and I kind of like looked up and completely just girl stalked her. I was like, "Oh my God, you're Jenny Prison!" And she's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm Bird City." She's like, "I know who you are." I was like, "Oh shit!" So that's a good thing or a bad thing? But yeah, fast forward a couple years, she actually agreed to do our Chicago exclusive for us, which was huge. She doesn't do a lot of store exclusives, and yeah, she did our Batgirl rendition after Middleton, and she's just phenomenal. She is beautiful inside and out. Love this girl.
You get so like starstruck with her, don't you?
She's amazing. In my opinion, she's the top one of the. I would have 5 that I would say, but Middleton's one of them. Frizen's one of them.
Middleton,
like top modern artists. You know, she just has. Again, if you guys know much about Frizen, she was highly influenced with her art style by Alfonso Mucha, which was very popular during the Art Nouveau period. So if you go back and look at the Art Nouveau posters that they used to do, they all kind of have like that sepia vibe to them, and they're all organic lines. She uses a lot of flowers and florals in her art, which again is indicative of that time period. So yeah, love her. I could do a whole show just on her.
Lords of Brooklyn
I think you did,
claiming
didn't you?
that Frizen ran from you.
Oh my God, she did not. Her and I took a selfie in the bathroom. Lord Brooklyn just likes to bust my balls. I swear he does. But no, we took a picture in the bathroom, and she was very, very nice. And
well, I don't know. I'm a little worried because you said you met her in the bathroom, and previously you said that when you see people at cons that you like, you tackle them. So did you tackle her in the bathroom?
No, it was honestly like my soap dispenser wasn't working, and so I was like, "Hey, do you mind if I?" And then I look up, I'm like, yeah, this literally happened, and she's like, "Yes," and she's like, "Oh,
yes."
So the important part of the story that we all have learned is that Jenny Frizen washes her hands like every human being should.
She was washing her hands.
And nasty comic book collectors out there.
Yeah, and another thing we learned too, Chris, is that Laura stalks certain people.
Well, we already knew that.
Follows them into the bathroom.
Yep, that's what really happened. Really, I knew she was down there. I have her bathroom breaks on a chart, and I keep track.
She's in there emptying the soap dispenser. She has an excuse to talk to her.
Oh my God. No, she's fantastic. I really, really like her. We have kept touch since then. I saw her in Chicago again. And
it's awesome. Yeah. I'd love to meet her one day. I'd love to get a few things signed by her too.
Oh man, all of her stuff is amazing. But Voltron for sure, if you can snag a 9.8, went for a little over. See, like you could have got whoever bought the M&M cover, you could have got like 9 of these. Voltron, Legend Forge #1, Jenny Frizen's first official cover by Devil's Due Publishing back in 2008. Yes. And last but not least, guys, this is the last shaker of the night. Here we go.
And last shaker. Yeah, last shaker being my last read to of the night is, once again, X-Men 92 #1. This is the Scotty Young Babies version published by Marvel in 2015. If you're a Scotty Young fan, you'll recognize his patented style featuring some favorite characters as younglings. It's just so dang cute. Still, his name attracts attention to nearly any project it's attached to. This book was a major reason this debuted issue sold nearly 100,000 copies. Well, before the X-Men 97 hype was a thing, featuring the iteration of characters from the X-Men animated series, it was a tie-in to the 2015 Secret Wars event. It was one of the first indications that there was a market for that team of mutants, and in that style, arguably, it contributed to the community receiving X-Men 97 in all its glory. Recently, someone opted to secure a CGC 9.8 copy for $315, resetting the market for this book as its previous high sale for a CGC 9.6 for $199. With only 9 in a CGC 9.8 on the census, the market is a little tricky as there isn't a wide net to pull from. Hence, the elevated price hit the market, and one fan opted to secure it. Raw copies have slowly risen to around $30 for a higher grade copy, but the combination of Scotty Young, X-Men, and some bright colors drew in a fan enough to make it theirs. With a ton of his work coming out that year, collectors have had a tough time securing all the titles that feature his style. At least one collector got to check this one off the list, and he did.
All right, hold on. I got to answer, or you got to ask you guys something. The chat's saying that this has never happened before. Not a single person watching has one book on this list. So it's been completely over across the board. Has that ever happened? Not while I've been on that I know of.
Not that since I've been on, and you've been on longer than I have, Laura, too. So
yeah,
this is interesting.
Yeah. And you know that these are offer lists for a reason, right? I mean, these are books that sell for a extremely high value. These are the best performers in the market. Usually, only one or two are sold. These aren't the most sales, but it's the highest price.
Yes, exactly.
Technically, somebody out there has one of these. Though, like while you guys were talking, I went and tried to find the Pride and Prejudice for Scotty Young. It's a ghost. There's none. You can't find it.
Yeah. But like that one, there's 2 Scotty Young variants on this list, and so that's interesting. And like this one, I don't think it was a ratio; it was just a Scotty Young variant, and it just doesn't exist. It's not out there. I agree with somebody in the chat who said that Jubilee looks awesome on this cover. I agree. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, this is a cool one. I think they all look good. All right, so there's 49 of you watching. Make sure you guys give us a thumbs up if you haven't already. Yeah, King of the. I wonder if Golden State. I wonder if he has one. I'll have to ask him. But last Shaker of the night.
He probably does. Yeah, I mean, he probably has every book that's on that Shaker's list right there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get the Pride and Prejudice and the Voltron. Actually, this was like my list this week. X-Men 92 issue number 1, Scotty Young Babies variant from 2015. I think going for a very reasonable $315 for a CGC 9.8. All right, we gotta do a seamless transition here now. So, guys, if you're just popping in. Here we go. Seamless.
Who's driving? Am I driving?
Oh,
I'm
shit.
driving.
Am I driving?
Okay.
See, it's seamless. One of you two are driving. I'm not. I'm just watching this.
I've got it shared if you need it.
Okay, yeah, because I'm sharing right now, so I don't know which one you're clicking on, Laura.
I'm not clicking on either of them. Here we go.
Yeah.
Whose is this? Who won?
That's Marty, I think.
Is it me? I won.
Yeah.
Do you guys mind if I leave us up during this point too? I like having.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right.
Okay,
so
let's see what's
first roll. We got one. Here we go. We got Fantastic Four number 1. Oh, Long Crime's on there. Made the top right there. There we go.
I'm looking for more Cole art since that one popped up.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. I know the kind that. Something with a blonde and a red dress, isn't that right?
It's my weakness.
Oh, look at that Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah, for sure. Ace of Spades, right there. 1948.
Wow.
Ace of Spades. Look at that one. Not too bad, huh?
She's sexy. I like it.
You sound really amused on that one, Laura.
I wish she was a blonde. I think if she was a blonde, it might hit a little harder.
$2,400 for CGC 9.8. Batman, Two-Face.
Yeah, that's awesome.
First
appearance of first modern appearance of Harvey Dent.
First modern appearance, Harvey Dent and Two-Face. Let's see, we got down Slab Comics. We're at 9.8.
Look at that drop off though on the raw. So you have just woo. Wow.
And the slabs. You drop like $6,000 between the 0.8 and the 0.6.
There's some gold in them hills over there. Got the Crow. I think Big E's is selling a set of these too. I still got Batman Adventures number 12 on there. Saga. I have this one, but I don't have this cover. I have the white cover, like the white background. But I wonder, is
it a key?
This was just for a while. It came out and it was a hot book for a while, but it really never was a key. It was just a number 1.
I picked up a whole stack. Yeah, I picked up a whole stack of sagas today.
Did you?
Yeah, I went long box digging at a local flea market here, He always has new books in because he buys collections constantly. And I
Right.
managed to get a stack of Saga, a stack of The Boys, a whole bunch
Nice.
of really good things at $1 a piece. And
Is that the one you
This is
have?
the one I. Yeah,
Yeah.
This is the one I have. This white color background, and I have mine graded. I think mine's like a 9.6.
Huh.
But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Frizen do a few of these covers too?
Not that I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Saga
I wish
covers.
he did, but not that I know of.
Okay. All
Fiona
right.
Staples
Go
did the
ahead.
feather one too, which I think that one's a big one that sells. But
Which one?
it's like a feather,
Like a
red
feather.
Yeah, just a feather on the cover. That's it.
Oh, interesting.
First Swamp Thing right there. and
So we're
House of
first Swamp
Secrets.
Thing. Yep.
Yeah.
House of Secrets number 92. This has been on my want list for a while, but I think this has really gotten way out of reach for me right now. First appearance of Swamp Thing.
Not horrible for 6.5, right? I mean, that's
No, it's not. Actually, that's not. But
doable.
most common slab. But let's see. If you're looking at highest known
Ooh.
value,
Wow.
9.8 at 90,000. Yeah. And let's go down. Let's look at, even this, you're looking at a high grade. If I would buy anything, I won't go anything below for this book. I wouldn't go anything below like a fine or a very fine, but you're still looking at some good money here too, So I don't know.
That's a lot of
But it's
money
been
for a
on-
comic.
It is, but it's been on my, and I rather spend good money on an old book, you know what I mean? And something, especially 1971,
Sure.
So, but not 13,000 for an Eminem and Spider-Man comic,
There's your Voltron right there.
That makes me so happy.
1,000.
I think it's interesting that Dazzler is still there on the top 100 shakers. But we'll talk about this
People
one
are
first.
still specking on that. So
Yeah, people are still specking.
Look at this. Let's see. Fairly recent, 9.8, 1,450 near mint, most common conditions. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, click on see sales data right there in that blue box.
Yeah.
And if you scroll down, you can see your graph of sales over time.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm
Look at
a data nerd. I like looking at graphs.
That's why you're making the big money, working big job right now, Chris.
That's right.
I would totally drop that money on a 9.8. Hands, yeah, 100% yes. I think that
would you?
keep more and more popular. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's your girl. You might as well.
Ultimate
And a lot of the
Fallout.
Raws had like this little rip on the side page. A lot of them did. So it's hard to get a 9.8.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Samurai Santa?
Look at that.
What the heck?
That's
You
Jim Lee's
know,
first cover.
There's a whole culture behind Santa Claus covers. There's the people.
Yeah.
Is
who
there really?
collect those Santa Claus covers? Yeah.
Kind of like the bondage covers and homage covers. Yeah, I didn't know there was a Santa like niche for
it's
collecting.
huge. People, I mean, whenever I'm, I flip a lot of things on eBay, and whenever I come across old magazines or comics with Santa on the cover, I always pick it up because I know that I can flip it really easily. They sell quickly.
That's interesting. That's
Well, this
interesting.
one,
Wow.
if you guys own it, in the first page, he does an interview, but Jim Lee didn't like to show his face back then, so it's like cut off. But he does an interview on the inside of this, and you can kind of get an image of him. And this is one I would, definitely own. This is cool.
Yeah, this is the first Jim Lee, right?
It is.
That's really cool.
But that black,
Samurai Santa.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that graph. That graph's awesome. Okay, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yay, Karen has this. Nice.
Look at that right there. Detective Comics. Okay. How are we looking right here, guys? Laura, what do you think?
I think this was a good week. I think we had a lot of interesting stuff on the board this week. It was a nice range of stuff. I think this might be a Laura week because there's so many books on that list that I think were just so awesome to own.
Yeah, you were very excited tonight. It was nice to see you with a little happiness going on with these books.
I'm in my office. I keep a whole section of just Frozen stuff, and My husband came in the other day and he's like, Laura, we got to clear some of this out. I'm like, over my dead
Don't
body.
you dare.
Yeah, he's like, you don't need 4 copies of this or 4 copies. I'm like, yes, I do. And like anytime I come across her stuff, I just pick it up. I can't help it. I think her art speaks to me.
I could totally see you going possession on that. Don't touch that. The head spinning around.
Yeah, she's awesome. I think her stuff is great. I would put her up there with Middleton. Adam Hughes is another one of my favorite modern artists.
Yeah.
There's just Art Germ.
Yeah.
I like Art Germ stuff. But yeah, that was it for us tonight, guys. Before we go, we'll start with you, Chris. Any last words?
Go see the Deadpool movie. It was a riot. It was a love letter to comic book fans.
I'm hearing the opposite, Chris. I'm hearing people saying that it wasn't that great.
Well, but those people have poor judgment. So
okay,
I love it.
2 thumbs up there.
Thumbs up. I'll be honest with you. Listen, I really liked Hugh Jackman in Logan, but this depiction of Wolverine was next level.
Really? Wow.
I honestly think, and I'm going to try to say this without sarcasm, Hugh Jackman could have delivered an Oscar-worthy performance in this.
What?
Movie. And I'm not kidding. It was that.
Wow.
Good.
That's what I want to hear. That makes me happy.
Also, before I go, I wanted to just share a book that I got today and I loved. Kara over at Third Eye Comics, she was the one recommended Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. She also recommended this book, and I picked it up. And this, if you like dark stories, there's about 5 stories in here, 5 short stories, including one, Something is Killing the Children. But the first story in here, called Contagion, it is fire. Pick up this book.
Nice.
I've got a feeling that this will do the same thing that Falling in Love on Path to Hell did. And there is a Peach Momoko variant cover. So it's $6. Go to your LCS, pick it up, show your LCS that love. But just look at that art. I mean, it is. You got the smoke from the candle, and it's turning into tentacles and zombies.
Oh, nice. I see hands too, hands coming out of that. Really beautiful cover, detail. By the way.
Yeah, good.
That's
very beautiful.
The art.
Yeah,
I really love those dark covers.
And the first story, it's called Contagion. It's only a few pages long, but I'm hooked. It could be a TV show.
So read the tea leaves there, right, Chris?
Oh, yeah, read the tea leaves. Yeah, TiVo.
Hey, there you go.
You guys can hit me up at Dr. Yo-Yo on Instagram and X and Vine and Thread and all of the other MySpace wannabes. Thank you guys so much for joining us this week, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Over to you, Marty.
Right? You're part of our Thursday crew. Wait, Marty, before you go, don't go. It's not before you say anything. I forgot to put this up. Tonight, we are hosting Pablo Villalobos. Lobos, again, is one of those artists that I think is just on that continual rise right now with his modern books. He did our San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which you're seeing on the board right here. If you are
Gorgeous.
at the con, we are running very, very low. I think we'll be sold out of these by Saturday morning. So it's 7:03 if you want to pick them up. Otherwise, tonight at 9 p.m. Pacific time, Bird City Comics will be going live on eBay with Pablo. They're going to be doing signatures, remarks, putting up some of his rarer, more sought after covers. So it's going to be a nice time. Make sure you guys check that out.
Laura, you got to put one aside for me, Laura. 9 o'clock your time is midnight my time. You got to put one of those aside for me, please. That is a gorgeous cover.
It's a beautiful cover.
I would love a remark of that.
I think Laura set one side for me already, right? Right, sweetheart? Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
of course. Of course it is. Yeah, definitely.
Give me that hook up.
Oh,
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate you guys as always. Thank you. I can't. Yeah, I'm speechless. You guys are awesome. You guys are always joining us, either on the live rewind, always supporting us. Guys from Cover Price, oh man, you guys are all doing awesome with keeping everything going with the show. Laura, you're the glue. You're the glue. Okay,
okay.
So you're doing amazing. I mean, seriously, you run this thing like you're a vet. I mean, you grab a hold of the reins and you ride that bad boy. So good job.
You told me to stop trying to be TiVo and just try to be myself. And that was some of the best advice I got post TiVo leaving us, because I was trying really hard to be TiVo and that wasn't working for me. But that advice that you gave me, yeah, meant everything.
Every once in a while, I might say something that makes sense, but most of the time,
Not adaptation. That never makes sense when it's coming out of your mouth. If you think adaptation, you're not going to hear it.
Once again, also too, I want to say once again, thank you for the guys at Geeky Swag Shop for sending me the Lords of the Long Box shirt. I really, really appreciate that. I took a couple pictures. I posted also on my IG. You can find me at Comic Book Fanatics, YouTube, IG as well. And we're still on Facebook too. So if you guys are interested, send us a request. You only have to answer a few questions. If like what's your favorite comic book, things like that, and we'll add you onto our group. It's a private group, and like to get it going again. For a while, there's quite a few people that post on the page still, but we still like to get a lot more people in the community to come back. So let's do that. But anyways, yep. Laura, you're amazing. Chris, it was so fun as always to be with you. Great knowledge. You're amazing. You always dropping that knowledge bomb, man. I would have loved to hear you and TiVo together, man. Just kind of like dropping that knowledge bomb, man. Great job, man. I've only been
so lucky, and I'm so sad that I missed the ability to interact with him. He was amazing.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, guys, we are out. This will be our Thursday crew. We were going to have Black Crown with us. So Lando will be here on the permanent moving forward. So hopefully you guys are liking the new crew. We're trying to keep it all together, trying to keep the legacy going. Leave a comment after the show ends because it helps us out so much with the algorithm. So yeah, until then, you guys.
For the entire crew, this is TiVo saying keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out. For the entire crew, this is TiVo saying keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.